Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Baxter Cycle today, and look what they've rolled out for us. Isn't that a beauty? That is a 2023 Royal Enfield Himalayan Scram 411. Just check that out. Isn't that just a gorgeous color? I'm not sure what that color is called. I'll put it down below, but I love the way that looks, and they've tied the grips in with that stripe. I wonder if that stripe is stock or if they added that. I'll find out. But isn't that just gorgeous? So what is this bike? Well, I want to tell you where I know they added these bags in the back. That's what really caught my eyes. I love the way the bags look on the back. But so this is a 411cc single overhead cam, single cylinder, 2 valves, one intake, one exhaust, fuel injected, of course. 24 horsepower, I think. 24, 25 horsepower. About 24 foot-pounds of torque. That's 32 newton meters. 5-speed transmission, and if you follow my channel, you know that I've got the standard Himalayan with the same engine, and I just love that bike. I've had that bike a little over a year, and I've got close to 16,000 miles on it, so I'm a real firm believer in this motor, this bike. It's just a great thing. So this particular bike has a 57.3-inch wheelbase. That's 1,455 millimeters. The seat height, 31.3 inches. That's 795 millimeters. That's slightly lower than the one I've got. Tank is about 4 gallons. That's 15 liters. And I mean, it's just a really nifty thing. Got a single disc brake on the front with anti-lock. I think that disc is a 300 millimeter disc. It's bi-brake with a dual piston. Anti-lock, like I said. On the rear, it's a 240 millimeter bi-brake with a single pot. The brakes on these bikes, on the Himalayan I have, and I'm not sure about this one. I've driven this one, but not too much. This model, not this particular bike. The model I have is, the brakes are excellent on dirt and gravel and things like that, and they're pretty good on the normal roads. Ground clearance for this bike is 7.8 inches. That is about 200 millimeters. That's pretty good, isn't it? Suspension is about 7.5 inches on the front, and they've got these boot covers on there. I think it's a 41 millimeter tube. You know, this part is 41 millimeters. And I think that's about 190 millimeters of travel, by the way. 7.5. The rear travel is about, let's see if I can find that here, 7.1 inches. That's about what I have on mine, I think. That's about 180 millimeters. This is a monoshock. Single monoshock. It's linked right here. We did a video where we replaced this link with a, I think it was a shorter one, or anyway, we replaced it, made the bike shorter. Actually lowered the bike about an inch. By the time we got an inch lower by replacing that, and then we did some adjustments here. By the time we were done, the bike was about an inch and 5/16 lower than stock, which is pretty darn good. It was noticeable. Just a really good looking machine, isn't it? The front tire is a 190/19. I think my standard Himalayan has a 90/90/21. So this has got a little shorter tire, but it's a little wider. And I think that's more for, you know, it's a little more street oriented than the standard Himalayan. And I think the back tire is about the same, 120/90/17. This bike is supposed to weigh 409 pounds, which is about 30 pounds lighter than my bike, than the standard Himalayan. And you know, like I said, I rode this. It does seem a little peppier. The only difference would be the weight. I do feel like the handling is a little lighter because of the smaller front tire, shorter front tire. It does seem to have a little better city manner. This bike would be one I would choose, you know, if I was riding 90% on pavement, 80-90% on pavement, and you know, I lived in town in the city, rode in the city all week long, and then on the weekends I wanted to go dirt trail riding. This would be a great bike for it. It's a very good looking machine. So let's look at some of the details here. Starting here, we talked about this. Look at this headlight. This is a cast aluminum piece here. You know, nice heavy chunk of, well, it's not heavy, but nice chunk of cast aluminum. Coming up here, it's got this Nice nifty gauge, very clear, easy to read. Fuel gauge in the center, gear indicator, so you always know what gear you're in. It's got a clock, trip A, trip B. It's on trip F right now, but that's because it needs fuel. Down here we've got battery light, ABS light, neutral light. Over here we've got the tripper navigation system, and I did a video where I actually used that and ran into town and back, and it actually worked really well. You know, I've got very little experience with it, but it worked very well. This bike, they added these colored grips to go with the striping. The mirrors, I left the stock mirrors on my bike. They're exactly like these, but I did move them out a little bit, and worked very well. I like them. I like them a lot. Coming back here to these bags, they just put these racks on here today, and these bags are removable with a key, and they're lockable. So I think you do this, you can open them up. Hey, there's the price tag. So this bike is listed at $5,100 plus $500 transportation, so $5,600. This bike can be yours, plus the bags. I don't think the bags are listed on here yet, so that'd be an extra. So the neat thing about these bikes is, one, there's a lot of fun to ride. I get over 50 miles a gallon on mine all the time. They're dependable. They're easy to maintain. I do my own oil changes, my own valve adjustments. I've had literally no trouble with the brakes on mine in 16,000 miles. I've had absolutely no issues with suspension. The engine is, you know, just a good, solid running machine. Chain drive, so, you know, you have to adjust the chain every now and then, but you know what? That's really not an issue. Really quite simple to do. Just a beautiful machine. I really like the way this one looks. Just kind of, you know, this whole thing is different from mine. Mine has the build-up with the bag hangers and the windshield, and this is much more, this is a lot lighter looking, a lot sportier looking, I think. If you were, like I said, if you were to ride, the majority of your riding off-road, or 40% or more of your riding off-road, I would go with the other model, but if you're going to do less than that, you know, I would go with this model. This is a very nice bike. I like it. So what really grabbed me about this was, like I said, they put these bags on today, and I just love the way it looks. It's just a very good look to it, don't you think? I just think they really add a lot to the bike. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Anyway, if y'all got any questions about this bike or any new or used Triumph Royal Enfield, get a hold of Baxter Cycle, ask for Jeremy or Mark or Randy, and tell them Fuzzy Biker sent you. Now, if you don't have snow on the ground like we have here, get yourselves out there and ride. Life's good. Wahoo!